A huge week for the Bluebirds, and we're back on the View from the Ninian. 6 points down after Stevenage and Doncaster. We're here to pick through the detritus after a big week for Cardiff City. Ben Price, Tom Phillips. It's the old gang. We're back together. Ben Price, how you doing?
I'm good. I could be bothered to turn up this week, so you know.
Yeah, the people will be pleased. The people that will be pleased that you're here. Have you got anything to say to your adoring fans?
No, it's just December's busy, isn't it? It's just a lot of
Not for
social
me.
stuff. Even
I've been
after
here.
this, I'm going. Yeah, but even after this, I'm going out. So it's just I don't like having stuff on. I apologise. I'd rather sit in front of my computer talking to you boys, but no, I've got to go out in the real world, and it scares me.
Tom, does the real world scare you?
Oh yeah, petrified of it, mate. That's why I'm in my basement again. I haven't left the house in a week. I'm getting food passed down the stairs. Yeah, horrible place.
What scares you the most about the world?
This is an odd start to the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, well, okay.
Clowns?
What do you say, Ben?
Clowns?
Clowns are scary. I went to see a modern day clown show on Friday night. It was one of the weirdest things I've seen for a long time. It was called Standout.
That's the most used sentence I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was. It was a mix of comedy, fire breathing, pole dancing, and like acrobatics. It was very bizarre. I think I saw someone with the largest penis I've ever seen, and he got it out on stage. So,
I mean, I went to the wrestling last night, so we're both completely on brand with this, aren't we?
Yeah, we are completely all right. Tom, anything you've done this week that's on brand?
I just went to the pub, so maybe.
There we go.
Yeah, on brand.
There we go. Right. I mean, let's get to the football. Obviously, it was a 6-point week for the Bluebirds. Tom, you know, we can pick through each individual game, but when you look back on this week, obviously Stevenage, it could have been a very tough place to go. Doncaster came and gave us a scare, but we came away with 6 points while the rest of the league sort of fell about falling over each other a little bit. How important was it just to get those 6 points, performances withstanding?
Oh, it's absolutely massive. I think now we've won 5 in a row in the league. We are starting to form that gap. Like the gap now between up in top and then Luton in 7. Like we can start to kind of not confirm, but like we should be in the playoff picture no matter what happens between now and the end of the season, really. And we were saying this earlier in the season about it's kind of like ticking these things off, right? Like you don't want to get carried away with, you know, concentrating on automatics. It's first of all kind of making sure you're in that playoff picture, cementing yourself there. And I think we've done that this week. And like you said, like the important thing was getting the 6 points because they are 2 very, very different types of win, but they're wins. And that's all that matters this week.
Yeah, Ben, we were talking about it just before we came on. When you look back across the league and how it's shaping up, there really is nothing between a lot of these teams, is there? When you look at 12th place being Wickham on 25 points down to the relegation zones, there's only 3 points in it. The fact that we do have a sort of separation between us and the playoffs now shows that we are starting to kind of show our quality a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm starting to think now my prediction of 8th might have been an understatement. It's the first time after these sort of results I've looked at it and gone, I think we're on for automatic promotion here at the at a minimum. I think as it stands and the way it's going, we're the best side in this league. I think the points on the board show that, and just the way we're playing, I think confirms that as well. It's a very, very strange league. Looking at like Luton Crisis Club a couple of weeks ago, they're now 3 points off the playoffs. Stockport was sort of pushing up and talking how they're going to rival us for the title bid and they can be one of the top 2 to go up. They're clinging into the playoffs now after they've had a little blip. It's a very, very weird league with teams that a lot of them aren't very good. We've just got to make sure we're consistent and start picking up wins. Like 5 wins on the bounce going into like a hectic Christmas period is going to do us a world of good. If we can come out of there unbeaten, suddenly you're looking at, like Tom said before we came on, like you're looking at playoffs at a minimum then.
Yeah, and Tom, obviously, one of the big results yesterday, I think Lincoln drew with Blackpool, which obviously has an impact on us. We're now 6 points clear of Blackpool in 3rd, but we have a game in hand over them, and crucially, we play them next week. That's the, we'll talk about the Lincoln game in a bit, but that's the kind of level we are at the moment, isn't it? That when we win these games, they have a real impact on the points in the table around us.
Definitely. It's like we've got a hectic period, but so does every other team in this league. And I think that's what we need to remember. So if we are stringing these wins together, the other teams are dropping points around us, and it's massive. And I think like what we're on now, 41 points, 19 games. That's on for what, like 9,900 points if we kept up at this rate for the rest of the season. And that's exactly where you want to be, right? This is where we'd want to be. This well, we're ahead of where we thought we'd be probably at this stage of the season.
Oh, 100%.
Miles ahead.
And we're still ropey in parts. Like we defend well, we've conceded 3 goals at home again. What's that, third time this season?
Yeah, Bradford, Leyton Orient, and now Doncaster.
But we keep scoring more than teams, so it's fine. And we've still got room for improvement, and I think that's probably the scary thing, that it doesn't feel like we're 100% there yet. So yeah, if we can keep this run of form going, then we could be. I don't want to get too carried away, but it's looking fairly comfortable at the moment, and it's an odd feeling.
Let's talk about one of those ropey games, Ben. Obviously, in the week, we paid the town of Stevenage a visit. And I think Stevenage is a stark example of what League One really is all about, isn't it? They are a club that's probably punching far above their weight. I commented about how they hadn't sold many tickets, and their fans were like, well, there's Premier League teams on our doorsteps. We're a National League club that's somehow in League One. And it's true, isn't it? And when you looked at the ticket sales for this game, they had sold 3,700 tickets before the game, and around 1,400 of those were from Cardiff. It's just, it shows the clubs in League One, isn't it? That, you've got us, Wigan, former Premier League, FA Cup winners, whatever else, against teams like Stevenage. And that's why you can never take anything for granted in this league, because you have no idea what's going on at these clubs.
It is a very, very strange, like I said, a really strange club, league. Mansfield, Burton, sort of clubs that sort of 10 years ago weren't anywhere near the Football League, or sort of in and out of the Football League, like playing in the conference. And then you've got Reading, like Wigan winning the FA Cup, Huddersfield playing Premier League. There's a lot of teams that have played Premier League football. Like Bolton were huge in the early 2000s, and now they've been in League One for what feels like an eternity. It's such a strange hodgepodge, sort of just mix and match of teams that you don't know who you think. I think that's what makes it quite interesting. That's what I've been enjoying about it, is it's such a variety of teams, and sort of even the smaller teams, some have really good support. Like Bradford, I know they're the Premier League the early 2000s.
Bradford have amazing support.
But their support's unbelievable, and they're huge, sort of on fan base. They should be playing at a high level, but 2002 since they were last in the Championship. It's just really weird when you look at it. It's a proper randomizer sort of. It feels a very, very random league.
It is, and Tom, Stevenage, one of those places that you probably never thought you'd see Cardiff playing at, but our fans went in abundance. 1,300 on a Tuesday night with weather problems, bridge problems, and everything else. Our fans are committed, mental. They're a different level, aren't they?
Yeah, both. But it was always going to be a fun season, right? And these are the types of teams you kind of look forward to. If you're one of the, away regulars, and you go into 10, 12, 15, maybe even more games a season, stuff like Stevenage is the ones where you're going, oh, this is exciting, because we may not get to do it again for a while. And I know personally, I get more outgoing to these small grounds than I do the identikit kind of soulless bowls that we've ended up in ourselves. These are the day outs that we want to go to. So I think we've just got to enjoy this season, because if we are good enough and we do go back up, it might be a while until we go to some of these grounds again. And, it's we commented on it last season, it's boring going to Preston over and over again. And it's been a breath of fresh air this year going to some of these clubs. And we're a big game for a lot of these clubs. And it's quite fun being part of that circus.
It is fun being part of that circus, but Ben, the game itself left a lot to be desired, didn't it? When you talk about you talk about the Doncaster game yesterday, that is absolutely an advert for League One football. Open, attacking, fun. When you look about the Stevenage game, it's an anti-advert, a warning for League One football. I think it was, during the first half, I had moments where I thought it was one of the worst games of football I think I've ever seen. What was your take on it, Ben?
It wasn't a pretty one. I think that's safe to say. It was a slog to watch from home.
Agricultural, turgid.
Grim, just brutal.
Yeah.
I think brutalist football is the best way to describe that. But it's been effective for Stevenage. There's a lot of fans have given Stevenage a bunch of grief on Twitter, which I find really strange. That sort of, this isn't the way to play football. We've been some sort of fucking footballing god team for the last 10 years or whatever. Some of the stuff we've played has been worse than that, and they were bad. They're a really small club that you said punch above their weight. Alex Ravel somehow has got them near on the playoffs playing that way. So there's something about them. They don't concede many goals, and you can just see why the way they play. Yeah. They just grind teams
11
down,
men behind the ball.
Grind teams down, hope they can win 1-0. It's not the prettiest. It's not that, but it's clearly effective for them. Like they're a team that I think did all three of us have them to go down, and they're somehow, I think we all both had them go down, and they're just hovering in the playoffs. So it's a massive, massive win to pick up 3 points there away on the road.
Yeah, I think, being at the ground, that first half, I focused on the first half. We were playing wayward long balls. We weren't connecting with our passes, and it felt like we'd kind of dropped down to their level. But second half, we definitely improved, and I think our quality shone through. And Tom, to that point, the thing that worried me about this game was perhaps that we couldn't seemingly break them down. But I think looking back, we made the best chances. We had Colwell hitting the bar. We put balls into the box that we almost got on the end of. We had shots. I think Callum Chambers had a pretty good shot that went pretty much straight down the keeper's throat, but it caused a chance. And our quality did shine through in the second half, didn't it? Yeah,
definitely. And I think we could have easily petered out as a draw. But if a team was going to score, it's going to be us. And at the moment, there is like a feeling of inevitability that we will score. I'm not worried as much anymore about not being able to break down teams. I think we've slowly started to suss that. And I don't know, like, it's weird having this confidence in games now. Like, it genuinely, I was sat there and I was fairly relaxed with like 10 minutes to go, thinking, I think a goal will come here. And it's just such an odd feeling. But like, if it's having that effect on me, who can be quite pessimistic of that, like that stage of games, then it's probably having an effect on the team. I reckon the team are confident now, like going, we'll get a goal eventually. We're good enough. We're better than these teams. And I think that's the confidence that's around the whole club at the moment, from the players to the fan base, is just that, look, we'll get a goal eventually. We'll be good enough to beat any team in this league. And that's exactly what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, Ben, we've talked about Stevenage's quality, but the thing or lack of quality, the thing that tickled me most on the night was they obviously played for long throws. I think they were playing for throws in and around our box, set it up, get people to pack the box and throw it in long. But their long thrower couldn't really reach the penalty spot. He couldn't reach the 6-yard box. I totally get playing within your limits, but that felt like a bit of a stretch for them.
Yeah, it was an odd one, wasn't it? It felt like a tactic that this will be a good idea. So this has definitely worked in training.
You could definitely throw the ball long.
Also, I think they've got from training, looked at the pitch and gone, the pitch is wider. That's where we've gone wrong here. We haven't measured this out properly, have we, lads? You did one step, you miscounted your steps, didn't you? And it just didn't work for him. It was just, I think both teams were really poor. I think even Stevenage fans will say that's the worst they've probably played all season as well. But he was telling that even with that, Callum Chambers was still man of the match and got us sort of, according to lovely Glenn Williams. Sorry. But yeah, they just seemed very, very blunt going forward. Like Tom said, I never thought they were going to score. If there was a chance going to come, I was confident it was going to fall to us. But I was sort of there going, I'll take a 0-0. Away from home, team in the playoffs, 0-0 is a good result here. We'll take that and move on and sort of keep the unbeaten run going. So to then snatch a winner with a brilliant goal of top class finish just made it even better, to be honest, because it was the only bit of quality in that game, and I mean the only bit of quality.
Yeah, we'll talk about the goal in a second. I just remembered. Obviously, the game feels like so long ago now, but like it just felt like one of those nights where we were going to take a battering and come away from it with a 0-0. Will Puskod, bless his heart, he came off with a bandage around his head. He'd been slammed into the boards on the side of the pitch. It felt like Salech just couldn't get into the game. It felt like we'd really ground out getting a point, and it would have been a hard fought point, I think, because as much as Stevenage perhaps didn't possess the quality, they really did bed in and just frustrated us so much to the point where we couldn't make many clear-cut chances. But Callum Robinson, Tom, he got the clear-cut chance at the end. It was an Amari Kellyman pass that kind of took a deflection, looped up, and at that point I didn't know where it was going to land, but it landed perfectly at Robinson's feet, and he showed why he is a Championship Premier League striker at times, didn't he? Because that was one touch and then a volley out of his feet. And he couldn't have hit it any sweeter, really. He managed to get it so it curved away from the keeper in goals into that far corner. And it was probably one of his best goals of the season, wasn't it, Tom?
Oh, for sure. Like, it's just a lovely touch to set it up. And then it's a composed finish. He doesn't just try and leather it. Like, he just kind of places it in that corner. And it's a fantastic goal. And it's so good to have someone of that quality coming off our bench. I like being in and out of the team. Like, we have got quality throughout our squad. And fair play to him. He hasn't thrown his toys out the pram at all this year. He seems to be happy to be in and around the squad. He's been a positive influence, and he pops up in moments like that. And it's such a good finish. And that's all he needed. We have got those moments of quality in our squad when games are a slog. And I think that is the difference between us and other teams in that league. And he's too good for this level. Even though he's not starting at League One, he's too good for the League One level. And we're lucky to have an asset like him in and around the squad.
Ben, it felt a bit like him sending a message to BBM. Obviously, he made some comments after the game as well. But that goal in particular was just him saying, look, I've still got this quality. I'm still here. On a night like that, you need players like him to come on and unlock it. And he did it. And is that his, he, as Tom says, he's not really thrown his toys out the pram. He's made some comments in the press now. Is the best way for him to do it is just keep coming on and taking his opportunities? Or does he need to kick up more of a fuss to be starting?
I don't think he needs to kick up any more fuss. I think we know his quality. We know what he's capable of. And it wouldn't surprise me at all, especially with his record against him, to see him start on Tuesday. I think there's opportunities to be had. I think Salek's in a rich vein of scoring form at the moment, like league top scorer. It's hard to justify dropping him, even though Robinson is clearly a very, very stupidly good option at this level. I think it's more of a credit to him that he's not kicked up as much of a fuss as he should have, and sort of gone, right, for the betterment of the team, I'll keep quiet for now, but when I get my chance, I'm taking it. It's really mature, and sort of, I think some of us, not naming any names, have sort of questioned his maturity at times and sort of like his attitude and application around the club. But right now it shows that even the players aren't involved regularly and sort of aren't getting as much football as they probably deserve, are really buying into what BBM's doing. And that's massive. I mean, if you've got players like Robinson, who's supposedly had questions around his sort of attitude and stuff like that, going, I get it, I'm doing this, taking one for the team, and sort of being willing to sort of stay on the bench and sort of come on and give everything when he comes on. That's massive and shows a huge improvement in team morale that was been sorely lacking for the last few years.
Tom, do you want to answer those questions about Callum Robinson's attitude? You've been very vocal critic of him. You wrote in 442 magazine about whether it was time for him to leave or not. Anything you want to say, Tom?
No, I'd just like to apologise. I didn't realise I'd written an article to 442, but if those rumours are true, then my bad.
Good. I'm glad you finally addressed that. It's what the people have been wanting for weeks. Let's move on to Doncaster. Love scoring 4 against Doncaster, don't we? The only one I can remember is when Craig Bellamy scored that free kick in 2011. I don't know if we've scored 4 in any other games. This, again, Tom, this shows how ridiculous the league is. Doncaster are down in 20th. They start the season relatively well. They had a decent go last season as well, I think, in League Two. But they've come to us and they've managed to get 3 goals against us and give us a real shock. It just shows, Tom, that there's nothing to be taken for granted in this division, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a very, very different game to the Stevenage one, and their approach was very, very different. I think they probably would have taken some lessons from that Stevenage game and probably looked at the games against Bradford and Leyton Orient that we had earlier this year and gone, the way to play against us is to put us under pressure. Don't give us time on the ball. Press us high up the field, cut off, the outlet from Trot, and just put us on the back foot, because we do ship goals when we put under pressure. Yes, they could have left themselves unsusceptible, and it just turned into a bit of a basketball game.
Free for all, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that is the way to get at us at home, is just to get in our faces. And fair play to them. If it wasn't for probably a keeper error for the last goal, they would have gone away with a much deserved point. Because I don't think we deserved to win that game, but we did, and we keep doing it. But yeah, I was quite impressed with them in large parts of that game. Yeah,
Ben. Obviously, they took the lead after 15 minutes. Owen Bailey with the goal. Lewis Molyneux, I think, is the man who set it up. As someone who included him basically every week of my fantasy team last year, I was alive to the threat of Molyneux, but it certainly felt like our players weren't. It felt like we started the game quite slowly.
Just sluggish, wasn't it? It's an uncharacteristically slow start from us. I think that's one thing one habit we sort of got out of under BBM very quickly was starting slowly and sort of giving teams that they're all. It's just one of those. I think you're starting to see already that fixture congestion is knackering players out. I think a lot of those goals came from very tired players making mistakes. I think Capaccio, he looked dead in his feet most of that game.
Yeah.
No, and he was rightly substituted at half time. And I think every one of their goals came from mistakes and just players not being as sharp as they should be. Like there's match fitness, then it's just been absolutely shagged. And I think the players are very quickly approaching that. And it's not going to get easier the next few weeks, but I think after that, then it should ease off a bit. But yeah, it wasn't a pretty start at all from us. I think I really like that Bailey player for them. I think he should be playing at a bit of like at a better club than Doncaster in the nicest way possible.
Well, maybe this is the season where he gets a bit of a breakout and they find a move. I feel like Doncaster have kind of, I don't really know what their level is anymore because they were obviously a championship club when we were playing them years ago, and they kind of slipped down the leagues very quickly. And now they're back at League One. It feels like they're kind of not quite like a Stevenage, ready to bat above their average. They're not quite, I don't know, a Port Vale who are really above their average and can't really adapt to it. They kind of feel like they could really push on, and they've got a lot of those players. Like Molyneux, for example, was so good last season. He seemed to get an assist every other week, a goal every other week, and he's still there. So maybe they're just trying to keep their players, and they don't want to draw attention to them.
Well, they're definitely keeping Billy Sharp long enough. Fuck it, how is he still there?
Well, Billy Sharp, he doesn't want to retire, does he? Doesn't want to retire. He wants to score another goal against Wrexham or something to wind them up. I forgot he was back there, to be honest, because I knew he was he back at Sheffield United last season or Hull? Fuck knows. He's played everywhere, that guy. It feels like he should have played for us at some point. Do you think that with Billy Sharp? Like a proper championship stalwart? It feels like we should have signed him at like 38 years old.
Glad he didn't. I think he's a bit of a knob.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, though. He has got that vibe about him, isn't it? Like, just would be linked to this pre-season and then just never showed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty glad he hasn't. Yeah.
But we'd get him like well past his best, similar to when we were linked with Jordan Rhodes, that sort of period of player.
Again, Jordan Rhodes, why hasn't he played for us? Tom, the game, it quickly descended into chaos. I can't remember a first half like this in years where it just kind of batted around between both teams. Obviously, they scored first. We equalised relatively quickly, went ahead. Then it was 2-2 by half time. This it just felt like chaos, didn't it, Tom?
Yeah, we've had a few of these this year where like just all sort of game plan goes out the window and it just turns into just like I said, a basketball game. But like we kind of get away with it in this league though, because we have got better quality than most of the teams there. Like if we were lucky enough to go up next season, I don't think we could play this way again and not get battered by teams. But we get away with it this year. We're scoring goals, and to be honest, I'll take it because we've watched some absolute dross over the last couple of seasons, and at least this is exciting. And we're coming up. Look, we've had a couple of bad results this year, but largely we were on the right side of these scorelines. So yeah, I don't mind it every now and again, but I'm not sure my blood pressure could take it if we were doing it every single game.
Yeah, but it's something we talked about, wasn't it? That the kind of, if we are going to be playing that open football, if BBM wants us to play open attacking football, which we do at times, then we are going to get results like this. And the important thing is just winning. And I think, we'll talk through all the goals, we'll talk through all the details and who's at fault for what. But again, the fact that we won this game, despite it being so topsy-turvy back and forth, is the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cliche, but it's the thing. It's the sign of champions, isn't it? It's what you want. Like teams that go up get wins last minute. And also, look, we've spent as long as we've done this over the last few years sort of just moaning about the state of the club and just not enjoying the football. If you're coming away from that game yesterday and not going, I had a great time watching that game, football's not for you. Everything about it was just mayhem. Similar to the Leyton Orient game, just silly and enjoyable. And that's what you want on a Saturday. You go in there to be entertained, and right now, we are more than living up to the name of the entertainers because we're just brilliant to watch, horrific to watch as well, and comical. It's everything you want to see.
Yeah, but you are right. People listened to our podcast last year, the last couple of seasons. You'd have heard us talking about how bad the football was on a weekly basis and us repeating ourselves over and over. Tom, we're winning these games now 4-3, and we've got people like Amari Kellyman playing for us and putting in good performances. We are just fun to watch again this season, and that's what we should be taking away from this. Let's talk about Kellyman's goal. He was obviously back starting in the 10. It's a shame he probably can't play on Tuesday because he's a loanee from Chelsea and all that kind of good stuff. But Colwell being out could have been a disaster, but Kellyman is now stepping into his place quite nicely, isn't he? And he got another goal yesterday. It was a smart finish. Yes, he took a deflection, but the ball was whipped into him. He took one touch and got it at his feet very quickly. The keeper defence couldn't really do anything about it. And it's nice to see him getting that confidence back, isn't it? Because he could be a crucial player in this league just for his quality.
Yeah, definitely. it took a bit of warming up this season, just with like 20 minutes here, then slowly like a 60-minute game and stuff like that. But yeah, he's definitely found his feet and at the perfect time. Like I kind of forgot about Colwell in a weird way because we've got people like Kellyman now, and you know we've lost Colwell, but we've won 5 games in a row. So it just shows the quality we got, and he's another one of those examples. And he's been a very, very clever signing because he is just, again, a player who's too good for that level. I don't think he's like consistent enough that he'll be like a Premier League stalwart or anything like that. But he's just got something about him, hasn't he? He's silky. He's got a bit of class. Yeah. And you can tell when he's on the ball that he's got a little bit of something extra that a lot of players at this level don't have. And yeah, we've just been very lucky to benefit from it. And it's nice to see him chipping in with goals because I think by the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if he has double figures because he gets him every few games. And yeah, he just keeps popping up with important moments.
I think there's something about him that I think he could break through. He seems like, I'm not saying he'll play like be a regular starter for Chelsea or whatever, but I can see with like as he's getting better and better with each week, I can see why the scouting reports and stuff would say he's probably worth a punt at 20 million because I think he's really coming into his own now. I think he's looking more and more confident each week, just a little bit sharper each time, the touches and everything with it. And the fact he stepped in and just like we're not missing Colwell at all is mental because you talk about arguably like what people are saying, the best player in League One, and Kellyman stepped in and filled his shoes really comfortably and is chipping in with goals and assists now. Well, he hasn't got an assist yet, has he? But he's got 2 goals. Sort of, he's really starting to come good and looking natural in the 10. I thought he had an assist, but I've got his stats up on football, but he hasn't got it. But there's something really good about him. I really like. There's like, do you remember when Philogene was with us at the start? He was blowing hot and cold a lot, but towards the end of the season, without him, we'd have been in League One well before. I feel like if it keeps going like this, Kellyman is going to fill that void. They're not the same player. He hasn't got like the raw pace like Philogene had and stuff, but I think he's going to become as important for us as sort of Philogene was in that season in just coming through because I think there's something there that can really push him on. He's only 20 as well.
Mad, isn't it? And he's obviously been coming back from a really bad injury, and I think that's why we're starting to see the best of him now because he is getting to match fitness. I don't think he's played as much football as he has with us this season. He hasn't played this many minutes over a consistent period, and I think the thing I really like about him is how he seems to ghost into the middle. I think he's very Colwell-esque in that regard. He finds space that no one else does, and you know we've got the quality to find the players. Obviously, one of the goals the other week was very reminiscent of that, where he was just in the middle of the park with space around him, and it felt like his goal was like that yesterday, where he just ghosted in. Another player in rich vein of form, Ben Price, Kian Ashford. I think it was his 3rd goal contribution in 5 games. He scored probably the most Kian Ashford goal we'll ever see, where he got the ball at his feet, head down, ran, and just spooned it towards the goal, and somehow it went in.
While falling over at the same time.
Over at the same time.
I'm so happy to see him sort of pick up and sort of really kick on again because, like I said last week, it hadn't happened for him for a while. But now he's starting to really come into a good patch of form and look like the Kian Ashford sort of we saw in a year or so ago. He's just a lovely footballer to watch and just works so hard.
He's old school, isn't it? He's old school.
Yeah. You just can't help but want him to do well because he just runs his bollocks off and just doesn't stop. And yeah, I'm just delighted to see him score. It was a really good finish as well because he's sort of on the way down, knows he's got to hit this, otherwise the chance is gone. And it does help that Doncaster's goalkeeper is absolutely pony. But yeah, look, it's another goal. One day he'll hit it and he'll absolutely smash the ball, but they still seem to go in even when he's not connecting with the ball properly. So that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, he was part of the goal that won the game as well with Joel Bagan. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Tom, obviously, it was 2-2 before half-time. We've already touched upon it, but our defence didn't really cover themselves in glory in relation to their goals. You know, we won the games. It's all going to be positive, but we kind of chopped and changed the defence a little bit. Capaccio came in. I think it was the same centre-halves that started, but Lawler came in second half. Does that worry you at all, the defensive performance, or are you just attributing it to being a one-off?
It's not a one-off. It's happened time and time again this season. We can't be doing that against Chelsea, because we'll be conceding 6-7 goals. But
we can.
I don't know. Yeah, true. But it doesn't worry me because we're scoring goals and it's fine. Because I don't want us to like overcompensate and lose what we kind of got going forward at the moment. I'm happy for it to be we'll score more than you and that's fine. But long term is probably not a great strategy. But I know I don't want to be negative at the moment, but like I suppose defensive. I can't put my
he doesn't
finger
know
on
what
it,
he's
though.
saying.
No, I don't. I can't put my finger on like what's kind of going wrong because I quite like all of our defenders and there's something about all of them. I think they're decent players, but we do this on a regular basis. Like we have a bit of a ricket in us, or like the striker seems to be in about 20 yards of space after one fairly simple pass. And I can't quite put my finger on why it keeps happening, but I'm not going to worry too much if we keep scoring 4. But I would worry come the end of the season if we're still doing it. But yeah, it's not great, does it?
Is it the chopping and changing? Obviously, Capaccio came in yesterday. Lawler came on at half time for Fish. Bagan and Chambers were the only two who kind of started the previous game. NG came on for Capaccio as well. Does the chopping and changing unsettle them, or is it something else?
I don't know, really. Like, it's because like if you look at the Stevenage game, right, we didn't look like conceding at all. But then that was probably more to do with Stevenage not offering anything. And I think the chopping and changing obviously is largely going to be beneficial to us because of this hectic period of games and things. And perhaps we will just throw a game in like this every 4 or 5 games because of it. And perhaps that's just what comes with the territory of chopping and changing. And I'm fine with that. But I don't know. If we had like 3 or 4 performances like this in a row, I'd start to worry. But I think there's enough like performances like the Stevenage game that give me enough hope that it's not like a fundamental issue and we can kind of get away with it.
Yeah, and
you say it's not a fundamental issue, but I'm just looking at the stats now. Only Blackpool have conceded more goals at home than us, which is a bit of a worry. But we're also by far and away the top scorers at home as well. I think the next one are Bolton with 20 and we've got 26. So we've conceded 14 at home, but scored 26. Blackpool have conceded 17 and Bolton, who are the next best scorers, have scored 20 goals. I mean, there are issues there, but I think it is very much, we are going to outscore you because, plus 12 goal difference at home. We haven't had that for a long time. And 5 wins on the bounce at home.
And I think if you look overall, we've conceded 20 goals home and away. That's still sort of best 4 or 5 in the division. So even though we have had these games where we've conceded lots of goals, you know, if you take out, I know it's quite a mad thing to say, but you take out this game, the Leyton Orient game and the Bradford game where there were anomalies, that's 9 goals in those 3 games. That's almost half of our goals conceded throughout the season. So as much as 3 games out of 19, we've had rickets, it is 3 games out of 19. We are top and we are still one of the best. We are the best attacking team and the 4th or 5th best defending team in the league. So it's in isolation, isn't it? And, you know, the game turned in our favour in the second half quite quickly, Ben, with Salech getting his 10th goal of the season. Another great finish from him. I wrote down striker's finish here, but I think I've kind of done him a bit of a disservice there because he's battling with the defender. He's the wrong side of him, and yet he gets a lovely finish on him that kind of puts it past the keeper. And you talked about it earlier, but he is in a rich vein of form, isn't he? And we're seeing the best of him now.
Yeah, I think arguably he's not probably in the best sort of like overall performance form. I think if you ask him, he knows he could probably play it a bit better. He's put in better performances and not scored. But his main job is to put the ball in the back of the net. And he seems to be doing that each week at the moment and sort of in more and more difficult ways. Because that's, again, it's not an easy finish. Like I said, he's the wrong side of the man, sort of tucking it away. Sort of, it's not like he's got a clear sort of shot at goal. He's got that little gap of space and instinctively finished it. He's class. I just love everything about him. Just works hard, loves to scrap and just shit out and just scoring for fun at the moment. And you can see with his celebration, it's a bloke confident that he knows he's going to score most games at the moment. And yeah, it is all about keeping hold of him in January now because there's not a chance Championship clubs aren't going to be looking at him the way he's playing at the moment. Because, like I said, even not playing amazingly well, he's still on 10, 11 goals already.
It's like 13 goal contributions or something. But yeah, but he scored 10 and I think he's got 3 assists as well. Yeah, Tom, he cut a frustrated figure at the start of the season, didn't he, Salech? There were games where it looked like he wasn't happy. He was struggling with the referee, but it feels like he's just got to grips with this division more so in recent weeks. And I think, you know, we'll talk about it at the end, but he's getting stuck in the right way now, isn't he? He's not chasing after fights that he shouldn't be having. He's just giving as good as he gets. I think when we scored the winner, which we'll talk about later, he barges through the defender after the goal. He's doing it at the right moments now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the right type of aggression you want to see from him. And yeah, he's a frustrated figure at the beginning of the season while he was like kind of warming up to how the league works, but also like how teammates work as well. Because we've got a very different starting 11 to what we had last year. And it does find a bit of time, it takes a bit of time, to kind of gel. And now you can see the team know where his runs are going to be. He knows where he should be. He knows where the ball is coming from. And we're reaping the benefits from it because he's an intelligent footballer. He's not just a brute. Like he's a brute, but like
with a brain.
He's got a footballing brain about him, isn't he? And that's what I really like about him. And I think he's the type of player that I don't think he will leave in January because I think he's the type of player who would like
I think he wants to see it through.
Project. Yeah, like he comes across like a proper like football fans footballer. And I don't know. I've got far too much trust in him. I feel like he's a very like honourable man from watching him for 90 minutes a week. I don't know why I've got that opinion. It just feels like he's a nice bloke. But yeah, I'm just falling more and more in love with him each week because especially the shit outside of it. He's always in the middle of fights and he's always got that glint in his eye. He's looking for it and he just loves the attention. He loves the argy-bargy. And if he's doing that and popping up with goals, like the man's not putting a foot wrong, is he really?
Well, I mean,
it's statue territory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That Swansea game where he came off the bench and I think I mentioned it last week. It was Vipotnik and two other players. He had them like in his grips and in his mitts. It was like, okay, he's starting as he means to go on. He's going to get involved and get stuck in. But I also think to the point about him not leaving, I think we've just got a really good group now. Like when you watch the social media videos, you see it, even Osho's popping up and you think like, oh, I've forgotten about Osho because I know he's been injured in and out of the team. But it looks like they're just a really good, close-knit group. And it helps that the group is small. Obviously, we have a smaller squad this year and Brian Barry Murphy wants to keep a smaller squad. It helps that so many of them have come through the academy and come through together. But it also helps that they're all a similar age. You've got people like Bagan, who's 24. Salech is 23, 24. Osho's 27. Our oldest players are obviously people like Chambers and Callum Robinson. But everybody else is a similar age. And I think you see it with their social media. Ruben Cole will post on social media and Salek's first in the comments being like, that wasn't on my bingo card and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's clearly these in-jokes that exist. And I think that's what would probably make him want to stay more, even more so than seeing the project through. And I'd love for him to stay. I think, when he came in, it looked like we had a player who was going to be here for the long term. It looked like we had a player who was going to be that striker we've been looking for. And I'm so pleased that it's carried on into this season. He could have easily gone up, down tools. This isn't what I came here for, but he hasn't. And he's got us 10 goals already this season. And we're not even halfway through the season. Like he's on course for probably a 25 goal season, the way it's going, which I might put a bet on now. 20 minutes went by, Ben.
Sorry.
Go on.
Like Kinsey.
Carry on. You carry on.
I'm going to. Like Kinsey Hughes, old man, went to a BBM, did a sort of chat a few weeks ago, and there was like a Q&A, and someone asked him like the three most intelligent players at the club, and surprisingly, he did say like Salech is like he's not just like an intelligent footballer. Apparently, he's a very, very intelligent bloke. So I thought that was quite interesting. Kean Ashford, not so much.
Isaac Davis, not so much. He's Danish, isn't he, Salech? As a society, they're pretty clever people. Like they have good education standards and things like that on a very basic level. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Ben, it calmed down for 20 or so minutes, and then they equalised at 70 minutes, I think it was, to make it 3-3. After the period of calm, did you think it was going to peter out at 3-3, or did you think there was another goal in it at that point?
I just thought the game was so open at times, and there was just. Like Ash said on comms, it was like three different versions of Doncaster in that game. Some points, it was just carnage. Other points, they were like really well drilled, really sort of disciplined. And other times, they were sort of, you couldn't work out what they were. So I just felt there was always going to be another chance. And it's with these boys as well. There is just something there. I'm going, I don't think this is it. I got a bit frustrated when the ref sort of gave a very silly foul and was like on like the 97th minute. I thought, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
When he played on, I was like, oh, there might be something here. And then, we sort of pick up and get the winner. But there was always that belief that something else was going to come. Similar to like the Stevenage game with Tom. I just felt there's another moment for us here.
Daniel Story, who writes The Independent, was back at the game yesterday. He did his visit in the 72 last year. He's back doing like revisits this season. He said it was top 5, one of the best games he's ever seen. And it was so open. And it was just a nonsense from start to finish. And finish it with nonsense it did, Tom. Have you ever seen Cardiff score a 99th minute winner? I was trying to rack my brains through. I've seen like 93, 94. We've had even, I think, a 96. I can't remember a goal almost on 100 minutes. But yesterday brought us that, didn't it, Tom, with Joel Bagan?
It did. Like, we scored pretty late against like Southampton and Ipswich and
Yeah,
things like that fairly recently. But I don't know.
I did Google it yesterday and I couldn't find anything beyond sort of 97.
It's just like that weird.
I'm sure we scored in like the... Do you remember last year or the year before, there was like that time where we were having like 15 minutes added on? Like each game. There was a time, I'm sure it was either last season or the season before, and I feel like it was Joe Riles or someone popped up with a winner. I'm trying to find it now.
Callum O'Dowda did it a few times against like Ipswich, but I swear it wasn't as late as 99. Anyway,
I think it was like one in the hundreds. Keep going, I'll try and find it.
Yeah, because it is just one of those weird quirks that comes with this ridiculous amount of injury time. Like, largely, I think that rule is bollocks, I must admit. Like, it's just no need for it. But it does work in our favour, again, because we have got these attacking players. We've got quality coming off the bench. And we do just eventually grind teams down. And yeah, it was just another one of those occasions. We put the pressure on in the last few minutes and we reaped the rewards from it. Was it a stylish goal? No. Was it extremely lucky? Yes. But again, take it. 3 points. And I tell you what, like, there's some atmosphere in that ground now as well. We're getting decent crowds there, and the place was bouncing. And I've watched I do love the camera that they put behind the goal and just film the fans.
Yeah, so good.
Just in case there's like last minute limbs. And I rewatched that over and over again. I do love those fan footage things. But yeah, it's building nicely now at CCS.
Against Ipswich, apparently O'Dowda scored in the 90 plus 10. But Wintl's goal came in. Yeah, Wintl's goal came in 90 plus 5 to equalise in that game. So it was 2 very late goals. Let's talk about Joel Bagan, Ben. My first question, and sorry if his mum is listening, why the fuck was he up attacking at that level of the game? 99 minutes. He's the man getting past his attacker to the back post to tap it in. That shows the confidence that BBM is giving these players, isn't it? That someone like Joel Bagan has been transformed under him and thinks, yeah, I should probably get into the box to try and get on the end of a tap in here. And it worked. It's
just because he's class. Why not? And I want him everywhere. Yeah. I tweeted yesterday, he's my favourite footballer at the moment, and I stand by that. I'm loving him. Just so defensively solid. Well, not defensively solid yesterday. It was defensive-wise, let's ignore everyone's performances there. But sort of, it's just nice to score. And if his goal-scoring form is anything to go on, it's terrible news for Chelsea on Tuesday night. But
yeah, he scores in threes, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's all he does. So it's been coming, and sort of like he's had a couple of chances where you probably want him to get this. So the fact he's confident now to bomb on, I think probably the last few years he seems hesitant to sort of, I call it Declan John syndrome, where you're afraid to go past the halfway line even though you're capable of doing it. And he clearly is sort of got over that now. He's recovered and starting to get forward more and more. And I think it'll pop up with more and more goals, I think. We had it with NG a few years ago, and I think we need fullbacks to score more, and he's getting there.
Yeah. Tom, how good does it feel to score goals in the last minute? You talked about the crowds, but I injured myself. I think I pulled a muscle in my pectoral celebrating that goal. It's just testament to this team, isn't it? That even in those moments, even when the game looks like it's petering out, we just don't give up. And it seems to be, we saw it a couple of times under people like Bullet. Didn't really see it under Reza, apart from maybe 1 or 2 games last season at Preston and Millwall. But it feels like with this team in particular, it's becoming more of a fixture, isn't it, of them, but they just don't give up.
Yeah, exactly. There's no better feeling in football than scoring a last-minute winner. Like, because, when you know there's no time for the opposition to get one back, and it's just absolute delirium. And, like you said, with this team, like, you don't want to be leaving the ground early because there's always something riding on it till the last second of this team. And it just builds, just breeds more and more confidence. Because now if you're drawing with 5 minutes left, there's still a chance. And that does have effect on future performances. And yeah, we're just dangerous. You can't fall asleep against us at the moment because we've got players who will punish you. And like Ben's saying, like we've got like he can go forward and like chipping in. Like he's a defensively minded player, so if he's chipping in as well, there's 7 more obvious goal scorers on that pitch than him. So we're well set. If they, we've got people like Joel popping up with last minute winners as well. Like there's a massive hand in it from their goalkeeper though, because that is just terrible goalkeeping. Like I do feel sorry for Doncaster a little bit because like that to lose in that fashion. Like there's no better feeling than a last minute winner, but there's no worse feeling than losing in that fashion. It's an avoidable goal, but take it all day.
I think they were singing 2 minutes before.
Come on, Ben.
You see a few minutes before they're just singing. You've seen the Doncaster now fuck off home. And then to have that happen is kind of sweet though.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, you're not good enough to be that arrogant, lads.
Yeah, we weren't winning.
Yeah, 20th in the league and it's 3-3. And we gave you £12 tickets and you tweeted about coming to the Principality. You could all get
that pissed me off. Yeah.
They turned off comments in the tweet. Yeah, they did from a lot of people and they turned off comments in their tweets. Ben, I mean, we've got a lot of tweets to get through, so let's just briefly talk about Salech charging through their defender and then a melee after the game where he's telling them to go and say hello to their fans. Just rounded off a lovely day, didn't it? Bit of madness to win the game and a bit of madness after the final whistle.
If there's one thing I love more than a last-minute winner, it is a player waving at someone really patronisingly. I think Colwell against Plymouth stands out as one of those brilliant ones. But Salek sort of royal, just off you pop, off you fuck.
Yeah.
Odd technique, I thought. It made me feel a bit ill. I don't know what it was. Just the way he moves his arm made me feel a little bit uneasy. I don't think I've ever seen a wave like that before. I don't think he's ever seen someone wave.
I didn't see anything particularly wrong with it when I saw it. So I'd like to. I want you to talk through, break it down. What you thought was odd about it.
Yeah, it was like it's like a halfway between like a royal wave, like the Queen one, and like a shooing away thing. I think I was just a bit hungover when I was watching the highlights this morning. Yeah, everything was making me feel a bit off. But yeah, I don't know why that jumped out at me.
It's an odd thing to pick up, and that's from me.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
and me.
I'll shut the fuck up, I think. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, good man. 4-3 against Doncaster leaves us top by 4 points over Bradford, who I think also won yesterday. Crucially, it's that 6 points over Lincoln. We're playing Lincoln away next week, and we have a game in hand over them. So things are shaping up nicely in League One. Let's go to Twitter, twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Around 57 tweets this week to get through, and a lot of them are in a similar vein. So I'll rifle through them, and I'll ask to put in the important questions when we get to them. Giggsy, the limbs in the Canton were unreal, and one player who's definitely improved under BBM is Bagan. We saw glimpses under other managers, but this season he's just properly stepped up and shown what a consistent player he is. Salek loves getting involved. Drew says, what a game. Good to see Ashford getting the rewards for his hard work. The physical side of his game has come on loads recently. I hope Turnbull has a change in fortune soon because surely he's better than being a passenger in League One. Dylan Jenkins, Stevenage reminded me of how we used to play away games for the past 10 years. Doncaster reminded me of how we used to defend last season. Matt Bluebird says, thankfully they had a Timu version of trotting goals for them. Great game and we needed a magic moment and Ashford produced it with quality and Bagan smashed it in. I'm enjoying the ride this season. So refreshing. Bluebird Coxey, here comes an old school insult. Champions find a way. Bring on Chelsea. Chelsea. Do we still call them Chelsea? Old school. John Walsh, great game, a great win, but defend like that against Chelsea and it'll be carnage. Bring on the carnage. Sven Carr, Joel Bagan, what a bloke, huge win. A few food questions as always. In order, I want to hear Celebrations, Heroes, Quality Street, Roses, and I want to hear what your favourite midnight snack is. Ben, in order, Celebrations, Heroes, Quality Street, or Roses?
Heroes, Celebrations, Quality Street, Roses.
All right, Tom?
Celebrations, Heroes, Quality Street and Roses, but like they're both gash.
Yeah, they're not the best ones.
They're just rubbish. They come out at Christmas. It's a tradition we need to get rid of, really.
I'm going to go Celebrations, Quality Street, Heroes, Roses. And Quality Street get in there because I like their green triangles. They're delicious.
Didn't you say Heroes were better than Celebrations last week?
I didn't. That was Ben.
All right.
I was near last week.
That was Ryan.
There we go. Yeah, sorry, it's the other one. And what's your favourite midnight snack? Mine's probably just bread and butter.
Yeah, I was going to say toast.
Can't be toast or a bowl of cereal. Just
cereal.
Actually, not a bowl of cereal. The second bowl of cereal, we've got milk in there already, and you put a little bit more on top.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Not McDonald's as I had last night. Anthony Jones, I'm 50 on Tuesday, and this team is starting to become my favourite ever City team. Love them all. Tom, you were also 50 on Friday, weren't you? Happy birthday for Friday.
I was 33, but thank you, I think. But even though you did forget it was my birthday, but there we go. I'm over it.
I did forget, and I feel terrible for that.
Good, you should.
Yeah, I feel really bad. Sorry. It's what happens when you live on the other side of the world, though.
Yeah, true, yeah. Other side of the mind.
Chris says, games like that win leagues. Never want to see Turnbull and Chambers passing back and forth to each other ever again. Matt Thomas, at what point are the bookies paying out on the league win, Jan or Feb? Let's not get that far ahead of things yet. Matthew Ali, results like that in that manner only reaffirms my belief that this is a team destined for promotion in May. Love this squad and can't wait to give Chelsea a hiding on Tuesday. Up the Blues. John T.M. Williams, enjoyable, typical City roller coaster ride. Still not Willock convinced. Yorkshire puddings with your Christmas dinner. Onward and upward. If we play like that on Tuesday, well, Yorkshire puddings with your Christmas dinner, Ben, I imagine you'd say yes.
We don't have it, but I'm not against it if it happens, is all I'd say.
Tom?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I think Yorkshire puddings are just class, aren't they?
They are amazing.
Lee Sanders, I thought we'd fucked that. I was wrong. We have loved 90-plus goals this past few seasons. Long may it continue. David Collins, mayhem, but it's why we go to actual games where we really care who wins. Beats Premier League footy up the pub, hands down. Baz T, that Doncaster goalkeeper can't actually be a real goalkeeper. He looked like he was a competition winner. Great result for City again. We just have too much firepower for this league. G says, such a grind-out win. Unlucky with the first 2 goals, but even on our bad days, we win. I don't support Tam, but I do support this club. We need more butts in seats. We need to start backing the team where it counts. We want to be better, but we need to support better. Come on, City. Gaz, at what point is it too early to pop the champion champagne? Paul Williams, Kevin Keegan-esque. We could have conceded 10, but would have scored 11. David Goddard, Ashford superb, and the attacker's got us out of jail. Can't keep brushing the Chambers problem under the carpet. Richard Endicott, Jeremy Clarkson is in from Doncaster, and did City hit top gear, or was it more like a farmyard tractor? Richard, congratulations on winning the Christmas jumper competition on Tuesday at Stevenage. He said he was taking part in the Christmas jumper competition. His was the only Christmas jumper I saw. Therefore, he wins. Congratulations, Richard. It was really nice to meet you on Tuesday. Utah Jazz fans, never in doubt. My daughter's first men's game. Told her it's like that every week. And there's a photo there of HMS pissed the league. Sellers, poor defending, gave them 3 goals, but Bagan goal was great. Fantastic performance by Ashford, and he showed great strength for the goal. Don't want to make him a scapegoat, but we all know why our midfield became disjointed in the middle of the game. Slade, close to having a bloody heart attack, but what an ending. Rodri, Bagan deserves that winner after being Mr. Consistent. Kian, man of the match. Less said about Chambers and Turnbull, the better. Rick Lewis, that's a result of a team destined for promotion. Happened to come from behind, pegged back several times, but still managing to find a late winner deep into injury time. 2 huge wins in the league this week. 6 points that could have easily been 2. Joel Bagan, my lord. Connor, champion-worthy moments. Di Richards, that's how champions win. Let's not get battered this week and then go get 50 points before the end of the year. Gareth, we were probably involved at fault for all the goals today. Alex Bennett, was that the worst referee and opposition keeper we've ever seen down the CCS? Felt like the ref was determined to shag us. Didn't really talk about the referee, Ben. Any thoughts?
He wasn't great, but I don't think he was horrific. There's not sort of like, there's moments this season where we've gone, how is he not giving this? How is he not giving that? But for the most part, he was like nothing outstanding, but he was far from the worst we've had this season.
Gareth Dunning, my son was competing in a Rubik's Cube competition, so picked a beauty to miss. Thankfully, we caught the last 2 minutes on BBC Radio Wales from far away. Could barely hear it, but we got the message when Bagans went in. Absolute bedlam. I think Rodney and Dell when they won the auction, and I hope your son won the Rubik's Cube competition, Gareth. Savigma, Sod, Lawler and Capaccio. It's Bagan who Man City and the rest of the Premier League should be inquiring about. Don't say that. I don't want him to go. Oliver Rees didn't think the 4-3 versus Orient could be topped. I was very wrong. The common Bluebird, going off topic, but nice to see Ralsey get the goal and be FOTMob police sponsor us man of the match in Plymouth's win over Rotherham. Tom, please for Joe Rolls to get his goal for Plymouth.
Yeah, because like Plymouth are not a bother to us in this table, so I feel like we can just enjoy when Rolls does like nice moments, and that's fine. So yeah, really happy for him.
MJCCSC, lump every penny you have on Bagan to score in the next 2 games. We know he scores in 3s. Ronnie Morgan, never in doubt. Trot's fan account. It's I think you might have done this answer, Ben. Ask the boys to guess how many goals have been scored at the CCS in our 10 league games this season. How many goals have we scored in our 10 league games this season, Ben?
That's the one that I didn't look at.
No, sorry. How many goals have been scored? Not just us. How many goals have been scored?
I forgot already. Isn't it 14?
No. Tom, can you guess how many league goals we've scored at home this season? Oh, sorry, how many league goals have been scored in our home games this season?
So, like, us and the opposition added together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So more
I
than
think how many
14. I reckon I might get...
Yeah.
14 is one of the numbers that makes it, because we've conceded 14.
Yeah.
That's what I was
I'm
thinking
going to
of.
go 35.
Close. Ben, do you want to have another guess? Because you flubbed the first one.
So 14 against, and we've scored.
I've scored more, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we've scored like 20. I think we scored 20 goals. Well, plus 15. So we scored 14,
It's
29.
40. We've scored 40 goals. No, there's been 40 goals scored in home games this season. I keep getting it wrong. So 40 goals in our 10 home
That was a
home games this
fine
season.
bit of podcasting that between us there.
He wrote it out so easily for me to understand. Every time I looked away from the tweet, I forgot what it said.
You think it's bad? I had it on my screen for like 10 minutes, staring at it, and I've just like as soon as I close the tab, it's gone from my brain.
It's a great question. I'm sorry I didn't do it justice, Mr. Trot's fan account. Bluebirds passed. I did enjoy You've Seen the Rovers Now Fuck Off Home about a minute before Bagan scored. Lee Spear, proper Dave Jones era game that. Jamie O'Connell, think that Gattuso sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit in regards to our defence today. Casey O'Hare says Cardiff responsible for all the goals, but the limbs on that fourth sublime. Gigi the Bluebird, I hurt my back while celebrating. Have any of you injured yourself during a match before? Also, we're just 3 points off last season. So I injured myself celebrating Bagan's goal on Saturday. Ben, ever any injuries from celebrating during a match? Obviously watching, not playing, because I know you've injured yourself a million times playing football.
Played yesterday, pulled my hammy. So, yeah. Injuries, a couple like scrapes and usual stuff. But I remember the Cardiff versus Swansea when Emnes scored the winner, that late 1-0. At the time, I wasn't very well, and he scored. I sort of moaned and threw up on the floor.
I didn't know where that was going when he started talking about Eminem. Like, when he celebrated the goal.
No, I sort of moaned, like screamed at him, and sort of then ended up projectile vomiting on the floor.
Tom, can you beat that?
I've still got a scar on my stomach from celebrating the winner at Brighton away when Morrison scored, where I managed to slice my belly open with my smartwatch through my
your
t-shirt.
coat.
Yeah, it looked like I'd been stabbed. That's my worst one. And I fell over a seat at Belgium away, but that's because they were too low and the beers are too strong.
Pulled my muscle celebrating Bagan's goal. I've twisted ankles. I've fallen over seats. I fell over at Stevenage on Tuesday. 3 of us all fell backwards into our row and collapsed onto other people. So, yeah, do that all the time. David Charles, a nerve-wracking watch. We won, so who cares? And we kept on looking for a winner. There was a time with the former manager when we could have readily settled for a point, attempted to park a bus and probably lost the game. I wonder who that was. Today got me thinking we are going up. Simon, 1927, champions find a way to win. Amy, pure carnage. Gareth McIlvray, entertaining but mental. Dobby has just sent a gif of someone fainting. Calvin Harris, straight back up, Cardiff City. Ian Evans, madness. Alex Weissam, impossible. Bluebird legend, limbs. Michael Scolapo says, Diary of a Cardiff fan, age 53 3/4, 61% possession, awful defending, 96 minutes of increased stress levels, 1 minute of limbs. I think I found another grey hair this evening. Coincidence? I think not. I work with 3 gobshite Chelsea fans, so a nice early Christmas present on Tuesday, please. And Azurin Avian says, a classic. Hopefully the first timers on discount tickets are hooked. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian for all your tweets. Thank you to everyone who sent one in. It's a big week coming up as well, boys. We're already at an hour, so let's not label a point on this one. Tom, Chelsea on Tuesday. How do you see this playing out? Obviously, missing a few key players, Kellyman, Colwell, Capacchio suspended, Colwell injured, Kellyman and not allowed to play due to probably his loan agreement. How are you playing this? What are you hoping for on Tuesday? BBM knows Maresca well. How do you think he's going to prepare for this game?
Like, we've got to put a strong team out. Like, we can't risk being properly turned over. I think it's not. I don't think it's a bad time to play Chelsea at the moment. Like, you've had Maresca in the news saying he's had the worst 48 hours he's had at Chelsea. That. Even though I don't know what is it really. It's a weird one, right? They've had injuries and stuff and suspensions and things. So, and they've played a lot of football as well with Europe. So, obviously, Chelsea have got one of the biggest squads in world sport
ever.
So, they can chop and change, but that might work in our favour as well. So what I'm hoping for from it is obviously a win, but like I just don't want us to get humiliated, and I don't think we will. I think we've got a good enough squad that we can avoid that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we should go into it with no fear.
Yeah, but that is the way we should approach it, isn't it, Ben? Obviously, Chelsea, I work with Chelsea fans and they've been saying we hope you don't win on Tuesday. It's like, come on, guys. Like, you are Chelsea. You're officially the best team in the world. You have players upon players. You could play your second string, third string team and they should be better than us. But we do have to go in with a sense of there's nothing to lose with this, is there?
There's zero pressure on us. Every one of those players should go in there and just look to have a good time. I mean, that's all it's about for us. There's no expectations just to make the semi-finals. There's no expectations on us from sort of most people to score, let alone sort of do anything. So we can go out there and just play our game. I think you've got to be massively respectful to Chelsea. Obviously, they are the world champions, but there's nothing to be afraid of in a weird way. Yes, they're good and they should be miles ahead of us, but that, like I said, takes all the pressure off. We're a good side. We've given teams you think how we turned over Burnley, and I know Burnley are a very, very poor side this year, and it's not one there, but we've shown the blueprint on how to beat Premier League teams in this competition. Mm-hmm. Just keep that going, and there's nothing to fear there. There's clearly something going on behind the scenes as well at the moment. If you can play on that, sort of put pressure on it. Maresca's not sort of come out and said that not for a reason. There's something there. There's going to be discontent amongst Chelsea players. It seems like it's a difficult dressing room and sort of a difficult place at the best of times, but if there's more going on there, the pressure's going to be on them and heads are going to be distracted. So there is every chance for an upset. I'm not expecting one, but I'm going to have a good time when I'm there.
Yeah, I think that we have to go in with it's low expectations, but hoping to enjoy the game. If I was playing Football Manager, I'd say pressure's off, lads. Just go out there and play your game. That's what I've been doing as my little team talk before the game. Maresca and BBM know each other, Tom. Does that give us a bit more of an advantage in a game like this, that he can kind of understand the kind of tactics a manager like Maresca will deploy?
Yes, I know. They're on TV every week. They're one of the most well-known football clubs. There's only so much more insight he'll have from that. But it might work a slight advantage. He might know how he's going to approach it, maybe because he's worked with him before. But to be honest, there's no secrets, is there, when you're at a club like Chelsea. And I don't know, Maresca will know a lot about BBM as well, right? So he'll know to warn his players about how we play football and what to expect from us. So yeah, I just think it'll be an exciting game. I don't think we will get turned over. I don't think we will get hammered or anything. I think we'll put up a good fight. And that's all we can ask for, really. And if we get a result from it, then obviously that'd be absolutely massive. But like you said, low expectations, but just go in there and enjoy it. I think we've got to make sure that we don't overreact as well, no matter what happens in this game. And we don't let the momentum in the league get halted by this, whatever happens. But yeah, at the moment, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, in terms of a team selection, we know that BBM is probably going to pick a pretty consistent team. He might bring in people like you'd expect if Lawler was dropped. He might start the game. You might see Robinson come in for this game in the middle of the park. But it's important that the players don't take too much of a confidence hit ahead of Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think they will. I think they'll know. Look, it's very similar to Aston Villa last year, where the result is, in a weird way, very irrelevant. All right, we get to a semi-final in the League Cup if we do win, but the result doesn't matter here. It's all about putting a performance and players sort of putting a show in. It's all about just sort of going there and doing stuff. It's weird Dylan Lawler sort of established himself.
Broke through, wasn't it?
Yeah. So those sort of things. The one thing I'll look at is it's just a massive shame Ruben Cole's not available. I'd love to see him in this sort of game. It's a game made for a player like him, just with the way similar to the Villa thing where he just put in an unbelievable performance. And regardless of the result, I think there's nothing. I don't think any player will take a knock and sort of there. The only thing is if you do somehow pick up a win. The worry then is Saturday. I'm more worried if we won and it affects our result on Saturday than if we lose. I think if we lose, I don't think it'll affect the players negatively at all. I think it could then just be sort of, if we do somehow pick up a miracle win, what happens on Saturday then? Our players' heads turn then. But I think all of these seem like level-headed players. I think no matter what, they'll be all right.
Yeah, and then next Saturday, Tom, is this the biggest game of the season so far? It's a real chance for us to puts some space between us and third place, being Lincoln. It gives us a chance to extend our lead over them with the game in hand. So Saturday before Christmas in Lincoln, it could be the perfect setup for the new year, couldn't it? Oh, well, sorry, the post-Christmas run with 3 points on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is our biggest game of the season, because I don't think it'll be a complete disaster if we don't win. Where
we have a game in hand.
Arguably, I think the Stevenage one was bigger. Because we haven't done that well against the teams at the top of the league this season. So I think it was quite important to get that kind of hoodoo off our backs a little bit. So I think I'd be more comfortable taking a draw from Lincoln than I would have been with Stevenage. I thought it was important to send a message up by beating Stevenage, where Lincoln, I think I'm a little bit more laid back about it. And yeah, not quite as uptight as I was going into the Stevenage one.
Yeah, Ben, do you see us beating Lincoln next Saturday?
The way we're playing, actually speaking, I'm not going into it sort of expecting us not to win, but I think Tom's right. A draw here would be a cracking result. I think just keep that unbeaten run going. And as long as you're constantly picking up points now, especially around this Christmas period, it's all looking all right then.
Yeah, if we can just remain unbeaten, I think that's the most crucial thing, isn't it? After the Chelsea game, no matter what happens, if we can get any result, a point or 3 points from Lincoln, that sets us up for the Boxing Day game against Exeter. Then we've got, was it Stevenage again in the betwixtmas period? And then obviously Wickham on New Year's Day. Like, those are 3 winnable games. So I would almost sacrifice a win next Saturday for a win in those 3 games, if it was like a guaranteed thing. So it's just, it is a real chance to establish ourselves over the next 4 games in the league. If we can remain unbeaten, I fancy us going all the way then after this. Tom, give us your prediction for Chelsea. Give us your prediction for Lincoln. What's it going to be?
I think we'll lose 2-0 to Chelsea. And I think we'll draw 1-1 with Lincoln.
Ben Price?
That's exactly what I had in my head before you said it. So I'll stick with 2-0 against Chelsea. But do you know what? I'll be optimistic. 2-1 against Lincoln.
I'm going to go 1-1 Chelsea, and we somehow lose on penalties or something. And then I think we will draw with Lincoln 1-0. I think it's be 2 1-0 draws this week, which I'll take. I'll take in a heartbeat. And that's it. We've prattled on for longer than we usually do on View from the Ninian, but there's a lot going on in the world of Cardiff City. Tom, what was your favourite bit of the podcast? Go on. What's your favourite moment?
Oh, it's always the first 10 seconds, the anticipation, the build-up.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Faces. Yeah, it's all exciting. And I've already blanked out the rest of it, to be honest.
Ben, any moments stand out for you?
I enjoyed ranking the Christmas chocolates.
Sven Carr always delivers a pretty good question around the foods.
Solid.
Shout out Sven. Solid questions. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Give us a comment, all that kind of stuff. TikTok.com/VFT Ninian. I'm still giving stuff away for Advinted. KOFI.com/VFT Ninian. If you want to give us some money, because we do this for love, not money. Tom, bedtime?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Ben, what are you doing today? You're just being social.
Yeah, meeting up with my old uni housemates and their kids, because we're at that stage of life now where everyone's got kids. So yeah, we're going to Cozy Club and then Winter Wonderland, and then I'm joining Ryan down Canopy to film his Alternative Wales special video at 5ish.
Oh, what's so special about it?
I don't know if I can say, but yeah,
right.
It's a new thing coming out for Alternative Wales, so keep an eye out for that and follow them because they're wonderful, and the stuff they're putting out at the moment is really, really good.
And they give us money. Hey, Terraz.
Ryan's asked if anyone's got a spare for the Ninian on Tuesday. Can you please let him know? He's literally WhatsApped me about 5 minutes ago asking that. So,
oh yeah, he asked me as well. Ryan March, if you have a spare for the Ninian stand on Tuesday, please get in touch with our benevolent Lord Ryan March, the man himself from Alternative Wales. He's looking for a ticket. He has tickets. I think it'd be for someone else. If anyone thinks he's a fair weather fan. Right, that's it. We'll be back. I mean, probably some point in the week, maybe, if the Chelsea game goes our way. And we'll be back absolutely after the Lincoln game next week. See you then.